Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Scott, welcome to the channel, and today I'm going to be talking about 4 More Shots Please, which is a Amazon Prime exclusive series from India, and it's about 4 women who are best friends living in the city of Mumbai in India. The series focuses around the group's friendship towards each other and also mixing in with their personal lives and issues, of which there are a lot of issues. For instance, the first girl is a single mother who has got a child who's about 5 or 6 years old, roughly, and is trying to look after her. And she's also got a ex-husband who has just recently got a new girlfriend, of which she's struggling to cope with him moving on and the fact that she can't. She's also a lawyer at a law firm, but it doesn't really cover much of a law career, which I thought was a bit odd. The second girl is a bisexual personal trainer who gets romantically involved with a client and then struggles to work out where her relationship with that client stands. And her client is doing the same. A client of which is a famous Indian celebrity in the series. The third woman is a virgin who has problems with a mother who is trying to arrange her a marriage. Of course, this is India. Arranged marriages are commonplace. And the fourth girl, which I should have said is the first girl because she is the first in the cast. She has a career that she's trying to balance with her love life, of which she struggles to stay involved with various different people. And she has a crush on the bartender who works at the bar they all drink in every episode. The series consists of 10 episodes, which are roughly 30 minutes, but a couple of them do go to 40 to 45-ish minutes, give or take a couple. The best thing about this series is the cast. The 4 women are amazing. They're very good. And when I did a brief look-up of them, they seem to be very well-known, talented actresses from India, obviously set in India, but they seem to be very good and been in a lot of high-profile things in India. I would love to be able to pronounce their names and give them some credit here, but I just can't. I would slaughter their names. I would probably do more harm than good. So I'm just going to put them up on screen, and hopefully someone will be able to tell me how to pronounce their names, but they're so good. They're so talented. Each episode is about 30 minutes, like I said, and this is a problem, but it's also a good thing, because the problem is the episodes are so short that not a lot really happens in each episode, of which is a shame, because about half the series is very, very pointless, it seems. The episodes feel like nothing happens at all in an episode. And then the positive side is these episodes are short enough not to feel like a drag. They pass by very quickly. However, I would definitely say at least half of this series, some of the episodes feel like nothing happens in them at all. And that might be because the plot lines are very weak. There are plot lines there, but it takes a long time to evolve each plot. So each character has their own things going on, and then they all obviously meet up, and they all have their own connections and such. But some of the plot lines just plod along until towards the end of the series, of which then they really do pick up, and it gets much better towards the end of the series. But to start out with, it's very slow, and it only gives you the tiniest amount of details and the tiniest amount of plot. There is one episode right in the middle of the series, of which is focused on how all the girls met in the first place, which I think is 4 years prior to when the series starts. And I think that was possibly the episode where I noticed the change in quantity. It's also where the episodes get slightly longer. The two longer episodes, which are 40-ish minutes, and are both in the second half of the series. That might explain why the episodes do get more in depth. With the series being described as a comedy drama, I would say it is not the right phrase for this show. I would say it's definitely a drama, but the comedy in this series is lacking. There are some jokes in it. There are a couple of the good ones. I would say all of the good ones are really in the trailer. But I wouldn't say there is enough comedy in this series to describe it as a comedy drama, of which is a shame, because there's a lot of potential for lots of jokes in this. And I would also say some of the jokes are very based around India. Actually, that's an understatement. Most of the jokes are based around Indian gender politics and arranged marriages and Indian culture, of which I didn't mind, but it would be nice to have some more internationally recognised jokes, which I get why there isn't. It's an Indian show. Because the show is set in Mumbai, in India, there's a lot of references to places in India which I don't know where they are. And I would say a lot of people living in the West, like Europe and the United States, etc., probably wouldn't know where these places were. I had to look up a couple of places that they reference quite often, and it was kind of annoying not knowing where they were, and I think that's probably our fault living in the West. We've got grown so used to watching things set in America. We know a lot about where America is, and we know where the states are and the cities that are usually featured. But India's it's such a huge country, and so many people live there. Second most populous country of the world, and people in the West barely know anything about it. Which I'm glad Amazon Prime are actually delving into the Indian market, because they've got a lot of series on Amazon Prime which are set in India, which are all very, very good. I assume. I haven't actually watched many of them. I've seen a couple, and I thought they were quite good. But I do plan on watching more in the future. The biggest issue, though, in this show is definitely the language barrier. And again, I think this comes back to me living in the UK, where we speak English, and the US also speaks English, barely. And I would say the language barrier is definitely the biggest issue in this show, because it changes so much. They do speak English in this show, but they also speak Hindi or Indian. I don't know what quite to call it. But they switch between the two languages all the time. Like, sometimes it's in mid-sentence. Sometimes every other word will be in a different language. And of course I have the subtitles on, because I wouldn't be able to understand them. And the subtitles, they're all in English, but the English bits are also in English on the screen, but then the subtitles would have a really tough time in trying to describe the words, of which sometimes I got repeats and sometimes I got translations of certain things. Someone used a really short phrase and the subtitles made it longer, and a couple of issues there. But it's not just the subtitles. The actual dialogue language barrier is a big issue in this show. I wish they would just stick to one language or the other, like either just speak all in English or all in Indian. And I would say it would definitely be better if it was one or the other. And of course you could go into different languages, but maybe don't do it so often, because it's really off-putting to see two different languages in the same sentence, alternative words being in different languages. So I'm more focused on the subtitles than the actual drama on the screen. Putting those issues aside, overall, this is a good series for the most part. It's got its issues here and there. It's got a little lack of comedy, considering it's a comedy drama. It has a lack of detail in the plots. They're not very defined. They're very loose. But it's fun. The characters and the acting is the best part. Like, again, I can't emphasize that enough. That's one of the best parts of this series. The three women are amazing. It really highlights how good this show is. And it stands out because there's not a lot of shows like this, especially ones that have come out of India, which are trying to rival any show that might be like this in Europe or the US. But again, that language barrier is a huge issue in the show, and it's kind of a bit off-putting. So if you don't like subtitles, you should probably don't watch this. It's got a lot. You need subtitles constantly, and the English Indian back and forth can be a bit irritating. There is a second series of which I am going to watch fairly soon, and I may do a video as well quite soon. I am watching this one after the other. And the only thing I have to say is I hope the language barrier is fixed a little bit in the second series, and maybe have the plots a little bit more fleshed out, maybe more defined. I did look at the episodes in the second series, and the episodes do look longer. They do look about 40 minutes long, of which I would say is definitely going to help as well. So, anyways, that's what I think. Tell me what you think in the comments down below. Leave a like if you like this video, and until next time, bye bye. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.